It's being awakened is knowing why you're here in this world. It's recognizing that you're an eternal soul who has many different experiences and lessons to learn and things that it wants to accomplish, that's expressing itself physically in this world right now in order to grow and expand and elevate and ascend to next levels of higher understanding, more love, being born into another existence where you've already leveled up, and then working more and higher there and leveling up and leveling up.
I just think it's some point things just start to become more clear, and you, especially when you start knowing, when you hear it, you know it, and you might never have heard it before, but for some strange reason, you're tapping into something else that obviously is not from this world that we currently live in 3D. It's coming from the 5D. So it's when you can identify that, I think, is when you can say that you're woken. I mean, I don't think anybody ever fully awakens. I don't think that's our job here during this time. It's to continue growing and learning. I mean, if we were fully awakened, I think we'd be bored, because of all the things we've got to learn and do. I just don't see how you could live in this world and try to learn lessons if you were fully already awoke.
Right.
So.
We're born into this 3D earth. It's like a school. It's like a three-dimensional school where we are an expression of some part of our soul that brings everything, that brings all the challenges and all the tools and things that we need in order to learn whatever lessons we said we want to work on in this lifetime. But we're born into a family that brings challenges and benefits and all different kinds of things. We're born into a part of the world that brings privilege or not privilege, depending on where, all kinds of things, into a white colored body, whatever you want to call it, pink, brown, black, whatever color you identify as, with different stuff embedded in us. But we're born into this kind of box, right? You're born into your family and your location box, which has patterns and societal rules and religious rules and everything else. And I really think awakening is about recognizing your own sovereignty and taking your own agency in the face of those patterns, breaking the bad patterns, building better patterns, learning that society isn't the end all be all of everything, and striking out on your own. I think that's one thing about awakening that the world is teaching us, or that we learn by having all the different societies and ways of doing things in different races around the world. We have to learn. Part of awakening is learning to come to the same level of understanding as everybody else around you. And there's different words and different ways, and being accepting and understanding how their beliefs coincide with your beliefs, and making allowances for those little different, like when the definitions don't quite meet, coming to that understanding, I think, is a big part of awakening too. And allowing yourself to change and see how they believe and not judge them for it. So your soul came here with a bunch of talents and abilities and skills and everything you really need to succeed on whatever lessons and challenges you set for this timeline. A little girl might say, Mommy, I want ballet. I love ballet, right? Well, tarot cards or meditation, that's our ballet, right? As an awakened person, you begin to explore all these different opportunities to extend your talents and your skills. And then pretty soon, they become these tools that help you pick your path through these, learning these lessons, and you get better and better at it. But again, there's this whole idea of the spiral of coming back to relearn things and hone your tools and hone your skills. And you begin to see that the further you go along this path, because as you have success, then you try a newer, a deeper level of connecting with your guides or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's also the fact that you start to discover that you can independently think for yourself, and not what society has to say, not what religion has to say, but what is it that and what you feel you can identify with. Okay, that's truly me wanting that or searching that. That's not me being told to do something, because I think in society, we kind of get stuck in that. I know before I had my awakening, it was trying to do things right and follow others, period, and if I can mimic what that person's doing, I should have the same success or same feelings or something like that. And I tell you, every time I was thinking that way, I totally failed every single time. So it's when you eventually start thinking independently and going, hey, I can do this. I don't need, anybody's permission to do this. I'm able to go out and think for myself and not be a victim of anything. That you're exploring it. You're trying to figure out what's going on. And you just continue to develop. And I know as you go through this, eventually I kind of describe it as keys and doors. You'll get a set of keys and you're like, okay, what lock does this go into? And well, that's you having to kind of search out, okay, I need to try this. I need to do this. And if it's something that you're supposed to learn during this time frame, that door opens up. And guess what? There's another door with another set of keys. Where am I going next? Those are the things that, and it makes life a little more exciting than it was before, instead of just following.
I loved choose your own adventure books when we were little. Those are awesome. It's kind of like this.